Hi, everybody, and welcome to the T2 Challenge Season 2, the Regionals. We are at the Westchester Table Tennis Center for the 9th match of 16 regional matchups in the T2 Challenge here at Season 2. I'm Mark Thompson, along with the High Performance Director of USA Table Tennis, Sean O'Neill. We've got a good one tonight, Sean. We've got Jon Ernesto Ebuen taking on Kokou Fanny here at Westchester.
Two great players internationally. Jon Ernesto Ebuen has been a 5-time former Philippines national men's singles champion. Kokou Fanny, one of the top players out of Africa.
Yeah, Jon Ernesto Ebuen has been a player of import in America for a while, the #1 rated player in the country back in 2016, playing with butterfly equipment today, taking on Kokou Fanny, who's out of Togo. That is, of course, the Togolese Republic in West Africa, and here in the States for a number of years as well. Both right-handers taking on each other here at Westchester. Sean, ought to be a good match.
Definitely similar styles of play with really good pressure from the forehand side. Ernesto plays a little bit more all-round, keeps the ball on the table. Look for Kokou to try to finish the points early.
Ernesto is from Elmhurst, New York, is widely known as the owner-operator of Ping Pod in New York City, kind of a new concept and a commercial venture for table tennis there in New York City, and had an opportunity to talk with him on the Pong Prudent interviews about that. Very interesting concept of what they've got going on in the city of New York.
Again, we will be playing with the T2 24-minute timer, so players can earn some extra points if they can finish this match under the 24-minute limit.
And Ernesto takes the first point of the match. It's a very important match for he and his Team Omega teammates, as the second point is a long serve off the table, 1-1. And, of course, Team Omega coming into tonight down 7-3. They have won back-to-back matches. Matilda Ekholm and Adar Alguetti winning for Team Omega. Great shot there by Kokou Fanny on the backhand. Just drilled it by Ernesto Ebuen.
Great spin and speed right to the cross-court angle.
A great dig off the deep right side of the table that time by Kokou, and unable to handle it on the return was Jon Ebuen. So now 3-1, Kokou early lead.
And that's the type of play that Ebuen, or I'm going to go with Ernesto just because that's the nickname I've called him for about 15 years. He has a lot of control. He really takes his time. He doesn't overplay the ball. After every loop, see him get ready for the follow-up.
And he's even things up at 3 as that shot from Kokou went long, still with the serve. Unfortunate there that time by Kokou. It looked like he was in good position on that back, and it just hit it long, Sean.
Yeah, just the right shot to take, just overplayed it. An excellent placement there by Ernesto, really pushing the ball deep, going in as if he was to return it short. I guess they're going to call that was possibly a net and replay the point. But you can see once again Ernesto taking his time. He steps in, steps out, excellent footwork, but then gets in position to make that first opening play.
Good shot that time by Kokou. Put Jon Ernesto Ebuen on the defensive. It kind of jammed him a bit, and now it's 5-4. Great forehand that time by Ernesto. Kind of a very difficult ball for Kokou to handle.
Oh, a nice counterattack there by Kokou. Ernesto able to get his backhand opening down the line to the forehand, but Kokou just really jumped on top of it for the counterattack. Oh, that's just perfect. I mean, look at how well Ernesto played that ball. He kept the rally going, didn't give Kokou anything to work with, and then turned the corner to get his own forehand down the line in excellent position.
Lots of power on that shot by Ernesto. Now leads 7-5 here in game 1 of a best of 7 T2 Challenge Season 2.
Again, Ernesto doing a nice job of keeping his serve short, just barely coming off the edge of the table. And again, excellent position. Of course, he's changing the spin, but more importantly, that second bounce on Kokou's side is so close to the end line, it's very easy to miss time.
And that went long. An unfortunate, unforced error on the serve, and now game point in game one for Ernesto Ebuen. And into the net goes Kokou Fanny, and into the books goes game number one for Ernesto Ebuen, as he did a good job of kind of picking up the momentum mid-match there, Sean, and just closed it out on Kokou.
Yeah, you see on this last point, he doesn't put a lot of pace on that ball. He's really taking a little bit of speed off of it. Too short, and Kokou nets the ball. I would say going into this game, look for Ernesto to continue to try to keep the position, get his openings going, and really move the ball around, where Kokou, he's got to get that forehand going. He's got great speed. He's got good footwork. He plays the big shots, but he's going to have to stop the early game momentum that Ernesto has established.
Sean, we noted, but Ernesto Ebuen is playing for Team Omega, who is down in the scoring right now for the overall T2 Challenge Season 2. Noted that they're down 7-3, but they have won 2 matches in a row here at Westchester. Matilda Ekholm beat Michelle Levinsky, and Adar Alguetti beat Jian Lee. And that has given them some new life. So this is a very important match for Team Omega.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a lot of momentum in Season 2 with the Houston stop, Ohio, Carolina, and now back to Westchester. Oh, the little bit of an unforced error there. Ernesto had an opportunity with a higher ball in the forehand, just mistimed it a little bit.
There's an unforced error on the other side that time by Kokou Fanny, tied up here in game 2 at 2.
Again, those pushes look like they're really easy, but it's so deep. Ernesto is able to go literally right on the white line.
Good response that time on another deep ball from Ernesto by Kokou, who evens things up again here in game 2, this time at 3.
Ernesto's pressing a little bit right now, trying to get his offense going. Kokou's done a nice job of really picking his spots.
He's opened up his largest lead of the match at 5-3. Oh, tremendous exchange that time, but unable to get the last one on the table was Ernesto Ebuen. Big point for Kokou Fanny, now up 6-3.
Again, Ernesto doing a nice job of initiating the offense off of Kokou's serve. Anytime he can make that flip, really puts Kokou on his heels a bit.
There it was again, Sean. Very deep, like you said, right on the tape, essentially. Very difficult ball to handle.
Oh, and that's a nice little flip out to the wide forehand. Ernesto's been camping in his backhand, and Kokou saw that. Went for the wide shot to the forehand. Excellent play.
Yeah, that was beautifully placed that time by Kokou Fanny. As noted, is from Togo. He now lives in Loam, New York, plays at the Westchester Table Tennis Center. I want to thank everybody there, including the owner-operator, Will Shorts, who does such a great job at this club outside of New York City.
And Kokou needs to make that follow-up. He played a solid backhand opening. Ernesto blocked it nice and low, but Kokou took that last one off the end of the table.
Nice backhand that time by Ernesto. Difficult ball for Kokou to handle, and finds himself now even here in game 2 at 7s.
Oh, excellent step around there by Ernesto. Just really smart. Well-timed, good positioning, good spin on the ball.
Tremendous power that time by Ernesto Ebuen, former #1 player in the Philippines, before coming over to America.
It's very tough for Kokou to deal with that ball because Ernesto does a nice job of playing it down line cross court and then sometimes into the body. So it really forces Kokou to judge and almost make an early move. And Ernesto's done a nice job of reading the body position.
Oh, too bad that time. Couple of nice shots by Kokou, but he has given game point again here to Ernesto Ebuen. 10-7 is the score. Game 2, up 1-0 for Ernesto. Able to stave off 1 game point here. Got another one. Serve still with Ernesto.
Oh, lucky break
response,
there. Yeah, able to just clip the edge of the table there. Had the shot that he wanted. Kokou able to counterattack the backhand. Nice little step there, but Ernesto right on top of the ball. Able to jam just one more into the body. Good opening on the forehand. Backhand reloop, but a quick wristy backhand that really did the job.
Just caught the edge there, and of course that made it virtually impossible for Kokou to have an answer on that shot after a really nice backhand in the sequence, but he finds himself down now 2-0. Kokou Fanny, who started playing table tennis probably a little bit later than a lot of people who end up being elite players. He says he didn't start playing until he was almost 13. He was more interested in soccer and also in baseball. Apparently he was on the national team for Togo in baseball before coming over and falling in love with the sport of table tennis, and he's going to have to find some love here, down 2-0 here in the regionals for the T2 Challenge Season 2.
Ernesto would love to keep this momentum going. He really had a nice comeback in that last game. Excellent play by Ernesto. Really set that final forehand up so well with some well-placed balls, moving it around and finally getting that forehand into play.
Oh, tried to go with a different serve that time for Kokou, and unfortunately just served it right off the table. And it's a 3-1 lead for Ernesto here in Game 3.
That time, Kokou really loaded up the backhand push. Looked like the ball was deep as well, exactly what Ernesto's been doing on his side of the net.
You see that the time clock is now just about halfway at 12 minutes, and that's a critical factor in these matches, Sean, because if a player is able to win a match without getting to the Fast Five, it's a 2-point victory rather than just one, which would be very important for Team Omega right now.
They definitely need a chance to double up the match point score.
Ernesto is pushing in that direction, certainly now leading 5-3 in Game 3. Kokou trying to find an answer.
A very well placed serve over to the forehand side. The previous one that caught the net, it was more to the center. So Ernesto's really moving the serve around, forcing Kokou to have to reach over the table surface to really go for anything offensive.
And that goes deep. It's now 7-3 here in Game 3 for Ernesto Ebuen. Really enjoyed talking with him on the Pong Prudent interview I did with him. He's a very charismatic individual.
Loves the game, loves to promote it. He's an excellent coach on top of it. So he's really been a welcome addition to the New York scene.
Oh, tremendous block back onto the table by Ernesto after a couple of good shots from Kokou, and unable to get the last one on. Now down 8-4 here in a critical Game 3.
Oh, what great footwork there by Ernesto. After the ball hit the net, he had to adjust, reset himself, was still able to pull off a strong forehand to get a 5-point lead.
So true, Sean. That was just an athletic move by Ernesto and has opened up a big 5-point lead here.
Oh, so smart. So when you have your opponent back, you don't have to overhit it. You can place it. Ernesto took his time, played another ball to the backhand, but gave Kokou nothing to work with.
Now with game point. On the first one, but showed the poise and calm play of Ernesto on that point prior, Sean.
And again, he's rewarded. Ernesto ball looked a little bit high, but it's so short that when Kokou goes for the big rip, he's having to go over the table and lift up and point to Ernesto.
Yeah, it's just a miss there. It's an unfortunate moment for 1-2 for Kokou Fanny. Now down 3 games to none, 11-5, 11-8, 11-5 for Ernesto Ebuen playing for Team Omega, trying to climb their way back into this thing. Team Alpha had opened up quite a lead, but back-to-back wins by the co-captains for Team Omega, Matilda Ekholm and Adar Alguetti, have put Team Omega back into it, Sean. And here at the Westchester Table Tennis Center, Omega has been the dominant team. Certainly, we're going to get another match here upcoming week, next week, between Jaden Zhou and also Masao Kohatsu. That is going to be another important match here at Westchester. But this one, with Jon Ebuen trying to close it out quickly to make it a 2-point victory for Team Omega, and he'll get an opportunity with 8:40 remaining in the 24-minute clock in Game 4.
And Kokou finally lands that over-the-table forehand, and he drilled it right into Ernesto's elbow. Good way to start to hopefully extend and prolong this match to get out of that double-point situation.
There's that push again you talked about, Sean. Very difficult ball to handle, and it's one of those things I think if you're Kokou, you're kind of looking at and say, okay, I've got to have an answer for that.
Oh, and there's an answer right there with a backhand over the
Ask
table.
and you shall receive.
I mean, what Ernesto's done well is he's played short forehand, deep backhand for the position. That time he went short backhand, and Kokou just took it downtown. Notice Ernesto moved the position. He got it more to the center on that one. Don't allow Kokou to take a full swing and expect it to come back. So both players doing a nice job of moving the service position around, not serving to the same spot and changing the spin, but moving the ball side to side, both short forehand, short backhand, and then some of them into the middle.
Unfortunate that time, off the top of the net, and Kokou was unable to adjust well enough to get it onto the table. Now 3-3 here in Game 4. Ernesto Ebuen leading 3 games to none, trying to close out Kokou Fanny.
There's a nice deep serve there. Ernesto, I would say the biggest difference so far, Mark, has just been his table positioning. He's really put the pressure on Kokou throughout the entire match.
Good exchange, and it comes up in favor of Kokou. Draws within 1 here at 4-5 and the serve in Game 4.
Again, excellent play. When Ernesto steps in, you're not sure whether he's going to drop it short like he's done or if he's going to jam it deep. So Kokou really has to pay attention to that ball position. Again, here comes the backhand. Anytime we talk about that, Kokou then delivers a nice backhand attack over the table.
That had excellent power on it too, Sean. Very difficult ball to handle.
Really like the technique of Kokou on the backhand side.
Now evening things up here in Game 4. Kokou Fanny at 6 apiece. And he has an opportunity. It's interesting. These two played in the Westchester Little Open back in October, and Ernesto did win that one, but was a tight battle between the two. And this doesn't look tight on paper maybe, but it's been really a lot closer than I think the score would indicate at this point, Sean.
Yeah, I would say that Ernesto's had the upper hand tactically, where he's really forced Kokou to play at his tempo, his ball position, and basically a much slower game without a lot of big finishing shots. Ernesto getting a little bit ahead of the point. Got to wait for the opponent to get up and show ready position. And it looks like Kokou has decided
somebody.
Exactly, and he's going to take the timeout because it is his backup is up against the wall at 7-7 here in Game 4.
Yeah, this is a moment where if you've got the timeout, you might as well use it, as we say in the hockey world. Why not? But it is interesting. Pace of play. You've made a good point here, Sean, about the pace and the rhythm with which Ernesto plays. I've been very impressed about his demeanor and how calm he is under the circumstances, and particularly the way that he waits for the perfect moment to strike the ball. It's almost like a cat who is poised. He doesn't have anything that I would consider to be kind of out of rhythm, herky-jerky type play. Very smooth player.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the sign of a champion when you have that level of patience to know when to hit the gas and when to just kind of coast and look and see what's going on. That's a great backhand there by Ernesto, right off the bounce. He went into Kokou's really strong side of the table so far in this match.
Still 3:45 remaining in the 24-minute clock here for the T2 challenge. So Ernesto trying to make quick work here in Game 4. Some positive body language from Kokou right there. Takes a 9-8 lead here in Game 4.
And you can see him jogging between the points. He's ready to go. Ernesto does a great job with that block. I think Kokou thought that backhand loop was going to be enough, but Ernesto brought it back.
No, Kokou Fanny with his first game point of the match at 10-9 here in Game 4. Trying to extend things here against Ernesto Ebuen. And here we go, Sean. No deuce in T2, so somebody's about to win Game 4, and if it is Ernesto, he's going to close it out. It's a match point for him.
Huge opportunity for 2 points for Team Omega right now.
And it is going to be 2 points for Team Omega as into the net goes Kokou Fanny. 11-10 victory in Game 4 for Ernesto Ebuen. And Team Omega, big victories here at the Westchester Table Tennis Center, including a 4-0 win by Ernesto Ebuen over Kokou Fanny. 11-5, 11-8, 11-5, 11-8. And just tremendous poise by the veteran Ernesto, the 40-year-old, comes up with a big victory.
And really kept his errors to a minimum. Forced Kokou to take difficult shots based on strong placement, both deep off of his pushes and then also his strong blocks. Really kept the pressure on, didn't give Kokou really much of a chance to breathe with his strong play.
No, I think I said 11-8 in that last game. Of course, it was 11-10. It's an interesting element of T2 that there's no deuce, so we knew somebody was going to win. It was Ernesto Ebuen who takes the match, and now it is a 7-5 lead for Team Alpha over Team Omega, who have won 3 consecutive matches. Sean, Matilda Ekholm, Adar Alguetti, the co-captains, and coming up big here today at Westchester is Ernesto Ebuen.
Now, he just played outstanding from the first point, got his game into play, didn't deviate, really put the biggest pressure on Kokou that I've seen in a while.
And of course, it is the 16 players of the winning team that will advance to the final of the T2 Challenge for Season 2. So that is a big victory. As we get a look at our next match, we talked about it's Jaden Ju taking on Masao Kohatsu. Team Omega looking to Jaden the 16-year-old, to keep things going in a positive direction.
Should be a great match. Two interesting styles, both players very hungry.
All right, Team Omega is on a roll. I am Mark Thompson for Sean O'Neill, the High Performance Director of USA Table Tennis. You've been watching T2 Challenge Season 2. Thanks for being with us, folks.